everyone, Mark the Movie Man here. And yeah, we watch a different variety of indie films sometimes, not always horror. And I've got one for you today, which is kind of a dramatic comedy in many ways, and that is And Through the Portal We Go. It's from director Mike Hayhurst, giving us a story of three remaining members of a religious cult who are preparing for their final ascension. All other members have gone through this mysterious portal in the woods, and now it's their time. But when they go through the portal, they end up back at the same day that they started at. And they notice that they just keep repeating the same day over and over. And as they try to figure out how they can finally ascend, they work first their way through perfection in their religion, trying to follow their religion, their religious practices to the letter, to taking some other approaches as well as they try to learn how they can finally ascend. But along the way, they learn more about themselves and each other as they try to learn to improve their existence. And that's the best way to put it. I really enjoyed this film. I didn't know what quite to expect going into it. Now, when you hear the word cult, you think, oh, very evil. It's got the very negative connotations to it. But in here, the cult isn't exactly painted that way because there is an actual portal in the woods. This isn't just some like Heaven's Gate type of thing, or Jonestown type of thing. No, there is an actual portal there, but it just won't let these three folks ascend. So I liked that this is actually a reality, not just some kind of fantasy made up by a crazed leader. So once you get that, it's a little bit more comforting and takes the edge off of the idea of a cult. Though watching their practices, you're like, okay, this is a little odd, which it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be different than what you may be used to. Now, our three characters definitely is an interesting dynamic. We have Sarah Goki playing Katie, who is the one who's the most devout of the three. She's the one that studied the scriptures the most, tries to follow their rituals to the letter. And she is a bit critical and judgmental of the other two. We then have Craig, played by Joseph Limas, who is in this as well. He's got a number of secrets, and he is following the rituals as well, but definitely has his own personality and motivations for ascending. And it's interesting to see where his character starts and where it finishes. In fact, all three of these characters, it's a very interesting arc for them all. Mickey, played by Taylor Dalton Curtis, the guy who's making the coffee and the food and such, and it's fun to see a little conversation between them as they try to figure out how to do the perfect rituals and stuff, and they even blame the way he cuts toast and their sandwiches as they're not following it to the letter. It's taking these three characters is kind of providing a window not only into ourselves, but into our culture, because each one of them kind of represents a slightly different aspect of our culture that we have in here. The judgmental person, the person who is here, but not quite is doing their best, but they're not exactly taking kindly to being judged all the time. And then there's the one who is kind of in on his own as well, and he's trying to please everyone. And so you got this mixture of characters, and it's great to see them explore not only that, but watching these characters improve in themselves, because as they let go of their beliefs and rituals, in their different approaches to try to stop repeating the same day, watching them learn about themselves makes you start thinking about yourself and self-reflection and such. And I'm not going to get all too existential or anything on you, but this is a really comforting film that also makes you think and also makes you reflect, thanks to the performances of all three of these characters. We do get some comic relief in here with the character named Rob, who does show up occasionally. Thomas Cambridge does great as in this role as the groundskeeper who keeps showing up at the door. But they do it in a Groundhog Day fashion, but it doesn't get annoying. They provide you just enough so you can accept what's going on. And it's more about exploring what makes us us and our relationships with other people and how our internal selves can affect our relationships with other folks. And so, yeah, I really enjoyed this movie. It was definitely different than one I normally watch, but in a good way. So, if you're looking for a nice, I would say, kind of softer film that'll make you feel good, and Through the Portal We Go from Mike Hayhurst is one you should seek out. So, thank you very much for watching. If you've seen this, please leave your constructive comments down below. Love to hear your thoughts. I appreciate the support. Help us get to 5,000 subscribers before the end of the year. Can only do that with your help. Thank you, and remember, till next time, keep that ticket stub.